Deep Rock Galactic has earned a loyal fanbase thanks to its unique blend of cooperative gameplay, satisfying progression, and just endlessly fun bug-shooting chaos. I'm a part of that fanbase, and I'm assuming you are too if you're watching this video. If not, then why are you here? Go play Deep Rock. It is a great game, to say the least. But when I found out there was a spin-off game, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, I was skeptical. How could a single-player auto shooter possibly capture any of the heart and spirit of the original? Now, after spending many hours with it, I can confidently say it does live up to the namesake, and furthermore brings a lot of new things to the table, much more than I was expecting for what I thought was just going to be a Vampire Survivors clone. So today I want to explain why Deep Rock Galactic Survivor deserves so much more attention and why you should go and play it. Let's start with going back to the original. Deep Rock Galactic is a super fun co-op game. It's my second most played multiplayer game on Steam. Me and my friends all love it.
There is a red alarm.
And there's a lot to like in it. With all the classes, different weapons, different mission types, different difficulties of those mission types, every mission you play feels completely different. Sometimes you'll be like 100% synergized and blow through a mission easily, and other times, probably the more fun ones, everything that could possibly go wrong, goes wrong. And you have to scramble the whole time, but still, you somehow make it out alive. At the end of the day, it's just a satisfying first-person shooter. But I do like the tactical and strategic elements of the game, like resource management with ammo and supply drops, or the ability to shape the level how you like it with the really neat terrain destruction elements. And I'm glad to say that Survivor is really faithful to everything the normal Deep Rock does. To a crazy extent, really. Like, it's just absurd to me that the genre shift actually works and manages to keep a lot of this complex strategy that comes with the normal game. But what do I mean by that, you may be asking? I'll explain. I think the most noticeable thing I find when I'm playing Deep Rock Survivor is just how engaged I am compared to every other Survivor game I've played. I enjoy Vampire Survivors as much as anyone else, but it always felt like a game to play like while you're watching YouTube or listening to music. Yeah, you need to be active and moving around, but after a certain point, you're just killing everything around you so fast you barely need to be playing anymore. And I think Deep Rock has so many mechanics purposely built to directly combat this from happening. First of all, in each level that you play, there is numerous resources to collect across the map, just like in the normal game. You have gold and nitra, which are used at the end of the map to gain a bunch of extra levels. There is also all the other resources from Deep Rock. I don't remember any of the names, except for Krappa. I don't know why. But these ones are really neat because they go towards meta progression and don't just apply to this run. Like, once you have enough, you can increase all damage dealt by 5% across every mission you play. Stuff like that, kind of like roguelite progression systems. And this really encourages you to explore the whole map. Keep your eye out, not just for the waves of enemies, but also the resources that are hidden in the walls. And it can lead to some pretty tricky situations too, like accidentally trapping yourself because you needed that one block of gold. Another thing the game does to keep you active is side objectives. Anyone familiar with Deep Rock will know these well. There's a few different ones that they can be, like collect Apoca Blooms, or mine Morkite, and completing these gain you a bunch of experience and gold. It's a minor addition that I don't even always do, especially when it's bolo caps, but it's just another thing that will keep you playing. There's also supply drops, 1 per level, and these require you to clear out the landing zone, which is sometimes easy, sometimes you'll die trying to, and completing this gets you a little bonus perk item, some of which are really helpful actually. You can also use the supply drop to do wild damage against the enemies, which is a very fun addition. The normal missions you're playing also have a bunch of extra objectives to complete, like level up a certain weapon to a certain level, collect 500 gold, mine 1000 blocks, just stuff like that. And when you're playing all of these different things, you're constantly jumping between, and this is besides the hordes of enemies that I haven't even touched on yet. it just makes it a really fun, engaging, even addicting flow of gameplay. Seriously, just try out a couple levels and you'll see how fun it is. But now we should talk about those enemies that you're fighting. There is a surprisingly large variety of them, which is always nice to see. Every level takes place in different biomes, and each biome has its specific enemies, alongside some that are in every biome. Each biome also has some unique things that you can find in them, but even the enemies and just style of them alone makes each feel really unique. I like the enemies in this game because they all act differently, and you really need to plan around this to succeed. Like, there's the basic glyphid grunts, lame. Then there's the acid spitters that shoot projectiles at you, pretty neat. They can be a pain to dodge if you get a buildup of too many of them. Then there's exploders that are pretty weak, but they do huge damage to you if they explode near you, but also do huge damage to enemies and can be built up and then chained together to wipe out swarms quickly. And then there's wardens that shield all the enemies around them and have to be taken out quick, but they run away from you non-stop, or the shellbacks that roll into you and take less damage when they're rolling, or flying enemies that ignore terrain. Like, if you couldn't tell, there's a lot. And they are all really cool to fight, especially when you start mixing them together. But there's more! Deep Rock Survivor even has boss fights at the end of each mission, and these are for the most part pretty neat. There could probably be some more bosses, but I do like that there are bosses in the first place. And these guys are tough. They have a lot of health and absolutely hit like a truck. Some of them have pretty stupid moves too. You really have to be on the top of your game to beat these guys. But what I like is that when you do inevitably fail, it almost never feels like you were just underleveled. Like when I lose in Vampire Survivors, it feels like I just wasn't high enough of a level and I just got overrun by all the enemies, which honestly doesn't feel great. But in Deep Rock, it's usually just a skill issue. You need to dodge better, carve the terrain to your advantage, and not get cornered. Even more reasons why it feels like such an active game. Like, you never really feel out of the game. There's always opportunities to heal, get a bunch of upgrades at the end of the map, or just dodge the enemies. I briefly mentioned it a second ago, but terrain destruction really does shine in this game. I love it in normal Deep Rock, but you wouldn't really use the terrain to like escape enemies. Unless you're the driller, maybe, but you won't be carving a tunnel to escape. You really just don't mine fast enough. But in Survivor, you will need to be doing that to survive. When you don't have a way out, you need to mine, and this leads to some really tense and exciting moments. Outside of the actual gameplay, there is a lot to like in terms of weapons, upgrades, and classes. There's the same 4 classes from Deep Rock: the Gunner, Driller, Engineer, and Scout, and each one is very unique. They all have like subclasses within them to give different starter weapons and different perks in combat, but even just playing as each one, they do feel different. Gunner is tanky, does crazy damage, but is pretty slow at everything, while Engineer is all about automated weapons like drones that circle around you or turrets spawning on the ground to defend you. Honestly, in normal Deep Rock, I'm not a fan of every class. In Survivor, I will play all of them happily. Just like the game, each one also has plenty of weapons to choose from, and you gradually unlock more and more of these as you go. You get experience from enemies to either level up attributes of these weapons, like extra reload speed or damage, or to upgrade your dwarf with stuff like more pickup range, faster mining speed. Once a weapon is leveled up enough, you'll start getting overclocks that are super fun. This is where you can make your absolutely crazy builds with insane weapons that will shred through enemies. It is a blast discovering all of these and pairing them together to create an ultimate build. All of these weapons and classes can also be enhanced in their own unique modes. The weapon upgrade missions task you with beating 3 floors with only that one weapon, which can be super hard, but does give a very nice damage boost if you beat it. And they're just really fun challenge levels. There's plenty of other unique mission types, but not even I in my like 25 hours have tried out everything. There's really just so much. There are, of course, the meta progression resources I mentioned earlier that are neat, but there's actually way more perks to upgrade than there are resources. So you really need to decide which perks you want the most, because it's difficult to get the resources for all of them. This is also something really minor, but I just want to say that the pacing of everything is really great. Dives are about 30 minutes in length, usually a really great amount of time, and each floor is on a timer, so everything is constantly flowing. and it just feels great to play. It also looks great, similar style to the original, but it keeps all the fun colors, awesome dialogue, fantastic sound design, overall just really polished, a lot more than I was expecting. The wildest part about all of this? It's still in early access. Updates are always coming in, and if playing this game proved anything to me, it's that the developers do really care. The community will only be growing, and I sure hope that the game does too. But even in its current state, it's still a blast. Well, I hope you enjoyed this dive into why Deep Rock Galactic Survivor is great, and it better have convinced you to go try it out for yourself. If you like Deep Rock, or Vampire Survivors, or just good video games, you'll have a good time, so go try it out. And please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thanks again for watching. Bye.